Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sal Licata Show podcast on YouTube every day during the course of the week and on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm not going to ask you to download, rate, subscribe. I always thought that was weird too. Like if you're listening to this, you probably did download it. But if you didn't, I guess, download it, rate, subscribe if you like it. Like if you don't. If you like it, great. Rate it. So like people beg for that stuff. And I know it's important, but like if you like it, great. Anyway, I'm still learning this podcast game here and all this stuff on YouTube and everything else. And before we get into the Super Bowl, and we will discuss that, and before we get into the Knicks and their moves and the moves that they did make, the moves that they didn't make, and maybe even a little St. John's UConn, and I mean a little, I do like, I just, this is my show, and I'm allowed to talk about what I want. So I think that there's a part of me that's still ingrained in the radio mindset and like, okay, well, you have to talk about this because this is topical. So you have to lead with this in sports and this and that and Super Bowl. Darnold versus the Patriots. I'm just going to be honest with you. I really don't give a shit who wins this game. Now, I'm going to bet the game. And when I do bet, and I'm going to take the Patriots, even though I don't like the Patriots and I want to be rooting against the Patriots, I'm going to root for them because that's where my money's going to be at. So just to get that out of the way first, like whoever wins this Super Bowl, it's not going to impact my life one way or another, other than my bet, which is going to be minimal anyway. So really, no big deal there. And for whatever reason, and we went over it, I don't have as much juice in this Super Bowl. I feel like there isn't as much juice, whether it's the lack of legacy head coach, quarterback, all those different things. So I can't muster up fake energy and lie to you and say, yeah, Super Sunday, baby. Give me Jackson Smith and Jigba over receiving yards. Like I'm just not whatever. Maybe come game day. I'm more into the snacks. By the moves that I did the 6 with Sal yesterday, I'm more into the snacks than I am the actual game. I'm more into the atmosphere, the party, who's coming over, who's going where, those type things. Halftime show, maybe even with Bad Bunny. Like I'm more into those type things and the feel of the Super Bowl than I am the actual result of the game. Not to mention that I got a cold. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm congested. I feel like crap. I was up late all night. Last night working at SNY. My wife had the flu this week. I'm trying to stay away from her. She slept on the couch. I've slept in the bed, which has led to really good sleep, but still not enough to prevent me from getting the cold. So that's just where I'm at. And so, like 3 minutes in, I still didn't even start with what I want to start with. So last night, something happened to me, and it was something magical. And it's one of those things where I think in life, you envision certain things and you dream about certain things. Sometimes it's, accomplishment. Sometimes it's, whatever it may be. Oh, I hope this happens or that happens for me. But there are certain things. I'll give you an example. When I went to a broadcasting school, I always wanted, like they were saying, any famous person that you want to meet or interview, you could have that happen. At that point, I was like, wow, really? And you start thinking of some of your favorite athletes, and you start thinking of, like, I was like, Eminem, I need to meet Eminem. And then I realized, like, it's not that easy. Like, they kind of sold you. Yeah, it's possible in some cases. In a lot of cases, I have been fortunate enough to meet people that I want or interview people that I've wanted to meet. And then you realize even that's like, big deal. So what? I interviewed Mike Piazza. Great. I get to know him a little bit. It's cool, but like, my life really hasn't changed. Eminem's still waiting on that one. But there are also people in life that you may be a fan of for different reasons that you just never even think you'll ever cross paths with them. And then yesterday, as I was at work, we like at SNY, they have these it's just beautiful studios. And sometimes they use those studios or TV shows come there or movies come there to use those studios to shoot for their projects, whatever it may be. And one of my colleagues, I'm going to not mention him because I'll let him tell the full story of it. But one of my colleagues had a run in with this actress who I'm about to mention here. And he had no idea who she was. And I was like, what? Nia Long is in the building? The Nia Long? And he's like, Nina something? I'm like, no. Nia Long? And then later in the night, I was like, after he told me that she was in the building and he met her and had an encounter with her, I was like I couldn't stop thinking about Nia Long and Fresh Prince. And I was searching her Instagram and thinking of Kanye West, Touch the Sky. I thought I needed a Nia Long like all night long. And then at the end of the night, taking my makeup off, and I hear my colleague and Nia Long voice outside of the changing room. And I'm like trying to change as quickly as I can to get the hell out of there so I can go meet her. And then I did. And my God, is she stunning in person. Nia Long. Like I met Nia Long last night and she was great. She was nice to me. Now, she actually chastised my colleague. Again, I want to let him tell the full story. I don't want to steal that from him. But the day before, like, I guess he was being too loud and she kind of was trying to sleep in the green room. That was her area. And she came out and said, "Can you keep it quiet? I'm trying to take a nap." And then the next day apologized to him. So when I met her, I was like, "I'm so sorry. He had no idea who you were. He should have shut his mouth. He's being too loud. Let you sleep, queen. Please." Like, I'm starstruck by you. It was a great encounter. She probably thought I was nuts, but laughing, whatever. It was a short, brief encounter, but Nia Long is such a superstar. And you're talking about one of the most beautiful people in the world, period. And I've loved her for 30 years, whatever it was with the Fresh Prince. So she's somebody that I never even imagined in life having an encounter with. And there I was walking out of the changing room, smiling, shaking hands, and meeting Nia Long. I mean, that was an experience. And I didn't take a picture. I probably should have because then I could have put it on Instagram and been like, and then I start thinking, so that's what happens naturally after you meet somebody like that. It's never good enough, right? Oh, I should have said this. I mean, I'm not going to exchange numbers with Nia Long. I mean, I wanted to, believe me. Like, I was trying to take off my wedding ring as I was getting dressed. I should have taken off my wedding ring. Hey, Nia, Sal Licata here. She's like, "Oh, do you do stuff on the air too?" I was like, "Not only do I do stuff on the air, I'm the host of the show." Yeah, that's right. I'm the host. He's a panelist. I'm the host of the show. Anyway, I would like to exchange numbers and like try to get her on the podcast. And I'm like, but I can't ask. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to ask her for a picture, but it was really a thrill to meet this. I don't give Super Bowl. Who gives a shit about the Super Bowl? I'm meeting Nia Long last night. I thought I needed a Nia Long. Now, bada booms, I'm assuming you know who Nia Long is, correct? Because that was the thing yesterday. How do you not know who Nia Long is? Some people knew, some people didn't. I'm like, what? The guy's like, "Oh, if it was Jennifer Aniston," I was like, no. Like, this is Jennifer Aniston. This is Nia Long. It's that level. You don't understand. Fresh Prince, all the other stuff. I've seen the million movies. You got to be a fan of Nia. You are you aware of who Nia Long is?
Sal, I think me and you are more bonded than we realize.
Okay.
Because you didn't tell me this, which I think is great. But the
I
way
wanted
you're
to save it for the
speaking
show.
of like you called her a queen, that's the perfect word. Couldn't keep it at home. Thought I needed a Nia Long.
Yes.
Like
Yes. And I listened to that
I'm
song three
happy you
times on the
saved
way
it
home.
for the show because this is a real reaction. Like,
So, but so you're only 22 though. So
mhm.
I wasn't sure, and I did want to bring it up on the air. You're only 22. Do you like how? What is your recollection, or like where do you know Nia Long from?
Well, I know her from the song, and I know her as Lisa,
Yeah, okay,
obviously.
Lisa
Yeah,
from the Fresh Prince, right?
yeah.
Now there is a sports tie-in here as well, and I was quietly explaining that to some of the people that didn't know who she was.
Hmm.
She was married to Umeka Udoka, whatever the hell his name is,
Ah, there's a New York
who
sports tie-in.
well, he was coaching. Well, I guess he was with the Nets, right, all those years. But he was coaching the Celtics when he had the public affair
Hmm.
to the point where he had to get fired because it was with somebody on the staff.
Yes,
And I remember reading the
this
story being
wasn't too
like,
long ago.
correct, it was a few years ago, which is what led him to go to the Rockets. And then, what's his name, took over. Now Mazzulla takes over and was
Yeah,
great with the Celtics. I mean, it was several years ago, but I remember reading the story and it was like a scandalous thing. And I'm like, man, that's obviously bad. But then I was like, not only is it bad, your wife is Nia Long. You idiot.
not
Like,
only
it's
is
bad
it
enough.
bad,
Yeah, it's bad enough to begin with. And then Nia Long. Bada booms. When I tell you, like, I've met some famous women in person.
hmm,
J Lo, I've seen her before. Ashanti, I remember.
that's another one.
Cindy Crawford. Yeah, I know. I'm just going through like the people that I met in person. Nia Long was absolutely stunning, gorgeous. She's short too. I love short women. Like she I was in love, and I told her, I'm like, I have loved you since the Fresh Prince. People were laughing in the background, like, absolutely. So she looks like she's 25. Unbelievable. So you know her from Lisa. Now, what do you go back and watch the Fresh Prince?
No, I mean, growing up, I watched The Fresh Prince.
Okay. But
No,
you're 22 growing up. You were growing up 3 years ago. What do you mean?
no, but my uncle put me on to like all the old school, like My Wife and Kids, The Fresh Prince, Martin. I love
Cosby
Bernie
Show?
Mac. No,
Okay, I was thought maybe.
why would you say that? Why would you
I
say
mean,
that?
it was a great show back in the day, but you
Can
were
you do a
saying
pudding pop for me? Can you hit?
no, I'm not doing that. I want to look up, and maybe you could do this too, because there were a
Yes.
bunch of movies. Like there were so many movies that I don't even remember, and videos potentially. IMDb with Nia Long.
Was she not in
couldn't have
Big
been
Mama's
nicer.
house?
Yes, she was in Big Mama's house.
That's
Good
ball
call.
knowledge.
She, dude, no, don't talk. And she's gonna be in the new Michael Jackson movie that's coming out, which I can't wait to watch. She was
Gonna
in
be
The
at the
Best
premiere?
Man in 1999. What?
Are we gonna be at the premiere?
I mean, so do you think that I dropped the ball here by not?
No, I think you were respectful about it. Like, I'm not. You're not gonna do an elevator pitch to Nia Long. Like, you just show love, and then hopefully, like, you got a pretty memorable thing going on. Like, I think you're a memorable guy, and when
Well,
you're
what I'm
nice, you're a
hoping is
nice guy.
I'm hoping that they're still shooting today. Like as we tape
Oh,
this
when
on
you go
Friday
back,
morning. If they're still there Friday and I see her again, she's definitely gonna remember me because we had that conversation last night. Not like she'd know my name, but I'm saying I'd be like, oh hey, and then I will further the conversation. Be like, look, I got to be honest with you. Can we two things? Is it possible to maybe get a quick selfie? And also, would you mind coming on my podcast? I'll play the sympathy card.
yes.
I do the TV show here, radio, but I also just got fired from my job at radio. Yeah, I know it's been really tough. I mean, you know how the business can be, it's brutal. But
Hmm.
I did start my own podcast, and I would love to have you on and talk about our encounter and also promote the Michael Jackson movie that you have coming up. I'd love
Oh,
to
that's a
really get.
great spin. That's a
Yeah.
great. Yeah, get Michael involved there. I'll say it was a dead giveaway. By the way, I know you're trying to hide it and let
Empire.
him
She
do
was
it.
in Empire. Go ahead. Yeah, what's the
Yes.
dead go? Yeah.
It was a dead giveaway who the person was. And I know they'll probably tell the story. Dead giveaway.
Yeah, I know. I don't. There's more to the story as well, and it's a really
Okay.
good story. But I don't.
Mhm.
I don't want to. I don't want to steal his thing because it's his story.
Yeah,
But
he's got a show to do that.
imagine getting scolded by somebody. Like from his perspective, he's getting yelled at in his own workplace to be quiet from somebody he has no idea who that is. The next day they apologize. He's telling the story to people, and then I'm like, that was Nia Long. You yelled at Nia. Nia Long told you to shut up, and she had to apologize. Like he got scolded and
Mhm.
apologized to from Nia freaking Long. I wish she scolded me. Yell at me. Tell me to shut up. Yes, Queen. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have spoken on that. Is there anything I can get you? Do you want a drink? Like that's what I would have done.
Let me buy you a drink.
Big
Ooh-wee.
Mama's house. Yeah. I mean, really, the thing for me, I'm going through the list, she's been doing this for a long time and has been in a bunch of different things. The thing for me is Fresh Prince. Like that's the number one thing that I loved her. I can remember some of the outfits she wore, the crop tops and
All
the
right,
jean.
don't tell her this stuff. Don't tell her this
I
stuff.
know. I'm telling
I
you
want
that stuff.
I want to get her on too, Sal. You know, I don't even have to say anything, but if I could just sit here in my little, you called it a corner the other day. If I
Yeah.
could just sit here in the Kobe corner and observe, if you will, respectfully. Something you said I want to go back to real quick. You said if it was Jennifer Aniston,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
you
I
said
didn't.
she
I would
is
say
Jennifer
that.
Aniston.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, you were so like that. What a line! What a line!
You know what I'm saying? Like,
What a line!
right. That was this person's perspective. Didn't know her. No. Like, dude,
How
she's
do you
one of the.
not know Nia Long?
I don't know. Anyway, I'll let that person
Uncultured.
decide. And then once he says his story, then we could rip him for it. But I ripped him right to her. I mean, I told you, and they were all dying laughing. Her perspective is she's like, I'm Nia Long, and then I did wonder, like, do you think that because she knows who she is and
Mhm.
she responded the way that she did initially, and whatever, she apologized after the fact, but still, like, then she was maybe overcompensating afterward, and maybe being so nice to us. And then I was like, I wonder what the real thing is here. Maybe she is a bit of a diva, which is acceptable. You could be a diva
You're a
when you're Nia
diva.
Long. Yeah, right.
And you're
Exactly.
not Nia Long. You don't look a fraction of her.
I'm telling you, dude, if somebody told me to be quiet at work my name's in the dressing room. Like I got all my clothes and stuff, and they're like, I go there 5 days a week. I'm there all the time. If somebody yelled at me to be quiet at SNY, at first I'd be like, well, what? No, like this is our home here. Like this is where I work.
Mm-hmm.
If that somebody was Nia Long, I would have shut my mouth. I wouldn't have said a word on the show. Anyway, she was
Would you
great.
have dropped the 2 knees if she said, "Pay your penance, genuflect"?
I wanted to take my wedding ring off and drop to one knee. Nia, please.
Aren't you going on a tropical vacation soon?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, that's right. I am married. Yeah, and for my wife's 50th birthday, all that stuff.
Well, now you got a visualization, so at least that's in the bank.
She looked beautiful.
It's crazy because we were just talking about Mercedes Moné yesterday.
She's another one that I met in person. Yeah, like I like Mercedes Moné a lot and find her attractive.
Nia Long, obviously, yeah.
Dude. I mean, this is next level. Like,
I know.
This is Nia Long. Like,
and we were talking about Alicia Keys the other day. I think that's one you might have put me on PMO. So,
who's the most like famous, attractive female that you've ever met? Have you ever met in person?
I guess she's kind of big now. Liv Morgan, when I was
I
mean,
when
still,
I was like
that's
a
not
pudgy
kid.
Yeah.
She unsightfully. I didn't ask for it, but she gave me like a little sympathy hugs. A little little fat kid with a little spitting.
What do you
spitting
mean?
Some game.
What do you mean when you were a little pudgy kid?
I'm not a kid anymore, Sal. I'm a man now.
I mean, you're 22. You are a kid.
Hey, so you're a compreora, Sal. I'm a man now.
All right, let's move on. Although I don't want to. And maybe TBD. Can you imagine if we're able to pull... I screwed up. You only get one shot. You get one shot.
No. Don't, Sal, don't put it like that. We're going to speak it into existence now. You're going back later to the studio?
Yeah, I don't know if they're there still.
We're going to put it into the air. All right, she's going to be there. And maybe this time she compliments you. Oh, Sal, thank you for being so nice. You're looking lovely. Your bold, round, voluptuous head is looking so shiny today, Sal.
The one thing is her son is a sports fan, and then she was talking about maybe like, maybe he could start an internship or something. So that was the end.
Easy. Bada Boom's got this seat on lockdown. He can go.
I'm not talking about here. You're more than an intern. You're the producer of the show. I'm talking about. Although I got to be honest with you, dude, you'd be on the hot seat if
it was an exchange of services.
If her son wanted to produce this show, you're out. I'm sorry. Bada Boom, you can take a back seat. All right. So the Super Bowl. I mentioned my thoughts on it before, and we'll get to the basketball in just a second. The Super Bowl is always special, and if you haven't had the opportunity to be to a Super Bowl, and very few people, I guess, have, maybe I shouldn't say that. Not very few people, but the majority of sports fans don't ever experience going to a Super Bowl. I was fortunate enough to go to a Super Bowl. I have the ticket still behind me somewhere. Super Bowl 42. Francesca took, it was Mike and Chris, but I think it was more Mike bought the ticket. And I was out there, we actually flew back on his private plane. It was a great experience. I'm not trying to flex here. I'm just giving you my experience with the Super Bowl. But I always say the same thing. Even though it was a historic Super Bowl and the Giants won, beating the previously undefeated Patriots, the best part about going to the Super Bowl was saying that I went to the Super Bowl. The actual experience itself is not great. The huge lines, the extra security, the atmosphere, the number one thing at a sporting event, I think that's what takes away from the Super Bowl overall, not just about going to it, but what takes away from the game is there's no great atmosphere. It's an exhibition-like atmosphere. And whether you're there or watching it on TV like the majority of us, you don't feel the atmosphere that you want. And I think it's gotten even worse as the years go on. It's always about everything else. The most talked about thing is Bad Bunny in the halftime show. It's not Sam Darnold or the Patriots. So, look, I'll be into the game once it gets going on here. I'm going to pick the Patriots. I don't see how that line keeps going the other way. I think, foolishly, people are getting sucked into Seattle here. I think all respect to McDonald, I think the better coach is Vrabel. He's been doing it longer. He had success with Tennessee. Now he's gotten over the hump with New England. They're saying all the right things. They're still being overlooked. I think they have the better quarterback. Better coach, better quarterback. Stop there. Drake May is better than Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold may be better than I thought that he was. He's still not Drake May. Drake May hasn't been great in the postseason so far, but he's gotten better each game. And even with Seattle's, tough defense, Seattle away from home, I don't think is going to be as good as they were. Whereas New England, I think their game is going to transfer everywhere. Now, Seattle's dangerous. Kickoff returns, defense-wise. Darnold, like we said, if he's on his game, he's very good. But also, if he's not on his game, he can make mistakes that can change the whole thing around. New England, to me, is the better group, the tougher team, the right mentality. Even though they're not experienced as a group, Vrabel has enough experience as a coach in the postseason, as a player in the Super Bowl. They know what they're doing. So the fact that I think they're winning the game outright. And the fact that you're getting 4.5 points, give me New England in what I don't know if it's going to be some great epic game, but let's just hope that it's an entertaining game and ultimately you win your boxes or you win your props and all things like that. Bada Booms, you had a question for me? I mean, did I answer it about going to the Super Bowl? I have to blow my nose here, so go ahead. You could fill here for a second.
Oh, that's what I'm great at doing, and that's what the people love. So I'm just busting balls. I don't want to hype myself up too much. I did have a question.
I noticed all the clips feature you, but go ahead.
All right, we're not doing that again, dude. That was we already did that segment. Let's not reheat the nachos.
You're getting ripped. You're getting ripped for your Super Bowl party, Gabagool and Stromboli.
Yeah, well, the Paisans will be up in there and they'll be showing love as they always do. Us Paisans always have each other's backs.
Hey,
you have my back.
If we hang out tomorrow, we're thinking about going to 80s Wrestling Con because it's like 10 minutes from my house. So Bada Booms, come hang out. And my buddy Brian Myers is going to be there. So maybe we'll have some digital content. Maybe talk to Demolition. Who else did I send that we might have access? Oh, Sergeant Slaughter. BT and I had him in studio once.
No shot of Chelsea Green being there, right?
I don't believe so. It's an 80s thing. We could try to get Chelsea Green on. She's over
Cardona
right now,
was
dude.
there. And, dude, she's so over.
I saw a comment. I think it was Helms, Gregory Helms. Is that his name? No,
Shane.
Gregory Helms is the famous actor, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Don't pretend that you know if you don't know.
Wait, hold on. No, but the name sounds so familiar that
No, is it Gregory Peck?
No, Gregory Helms is his real name.
Oh, okay. So Gregory Peck.
You're using shoot
actor.
names now. You
okay.
mark.
Whatever. So this dude Helms, who I guess used to be a writer, said that she will be the women's champion at some point.
No, he still is a writer. He's a producer now.
Oh, whatever. I think he's right. So you saw the stuff on Unreal where she was talking about. They were talking about how she's never that top girl. I don't get it, man. She's fantastic. She draws your attention the second she does something. I was there that Saturday Night Main Event where she won the first ever women's U.S. champion. It was great.
On the island, right?
I've been a fan of hers because I'm a friend of Myers,
Cardona,
who's a friend with Cardona, and then I've hung out with him and I've messaged with him. Both really good dudes. I love their podcast, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. Loved it. I kind of got away from the collecting a little bit because I became obsessed with it, and then
you got fired.
No, before that, actually, when I got hired, like the overnights, maybe on the overnights, I was still collecting a little bit. Once the midday started, I had no time for anything. Now that I have some free time, I'm back in, but it's just I don't have as much money. So anyway,
I think they're shooting an angle on that. Just
what?
We did it on Real Talk. I think what they're trying to do is ingrain into the people's heads to get her even more over, to kind of preface hey, if you guys really want this, speak out about it now and we'll give you what you want later on. They're trying to win psychological warfare, I think.
But she's great. She's great. Yeah. I don't know about the in-ring stuff. I think she's fine in-ring, just as good as anybody else. Maybe middle of the pack there. I'm not the expert to say that, but just from my casual fan eye, I love watching her. I think she looks great. I think she's very entertaining. She tells a story. I like it. Anyway, how'd you get talking? So we could get Chelsea Green on at some point, I'm sure. I mean, we just had Seth freaking Rollins on, although maybe she's too popular at this point. Everybody wants to get Chelsea on, so who knows? But I'm sure we could work on that. She's not going to be there. What else? You get sidetracked there.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about the Super Bowl. You actually got sidetracked, Sal. You went into the what we're doing 80s wrestling.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, you're right. I did get sidetracked. What I was going to say is maybe if we do hang out this weekend, I'll show you some real Jersey pizza. We'll go to Third Proof Pizza. I'll put you on to the real pizza. That's what I want to say. Don't shake your head.
Can I do a kayfabe thank you and show gratitude of how great of a guy you are? I actually didn't even get to say it when we did our pre-show.
What?
Yeah, I got a lovely gift package, and it was a little that was from the heart kind of thing. Because I told you the story about Curtis. I don't know if I told you about when I met Rob Moore.
No, you didn't.
They used to have the meet and greet.
But you're telling a story that nobody knows what you're talking about. I sent Bada Booms a package, just a little gift pack of some merch that I was considering selling. But I know you're a Jets fan, so I threw in some BT and Sal merch a little bit. But
no, I appreciate that a lot. I know you're humble, but a little signature on the BT and Sal stuff would have been nice. Then I could have sold that stuff. But
bring it to me and BT. We'll both sign it for you and
not
authenticate it.
the Jet one. The Jet one's gonna go in the mantle with we have a Jet shrine in the mantle where we watch the games.
Curtis Martin, potentially game used jersey. Rob Moore, I believe game used jersey and also signed. They're like authentic, player made, all that different stuff. Yes, that was my gift to you. By the way.
I looked that jersey up because I was trying to see if I could find the specific game because they have ways of tracking it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought at first when I saw the jersey that it was from the infamous snow game against Pittsburgh, and I started to freak out a little bit. I'm like, bro, this is insane.
I probably wouldn't have sent you that one. I would have sold that. But
I don't think you would have known the difference. You're not a real Jet fan, but you're not even a Jet fan at all. It doesn't mean anything to you.
Here's something that's going to knock you on your socks. I was rooting for the Jets before you were born. So don't give me I'm not a real Jet fan.
That's not true. 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 Sal, that's not Sal. Don't.
It is literally factually true. I was rooting for the New York Jets. No. I was rooting for the New York Jets before you were born. What year were you born?
I no. You're gonna miss the point here. What year were you born? I was born in 03.
Okay, I was rooting for the Jets when they had Parcells. Do you know what year that was?
1998, bro. Don't tell me what year it is. Of course I do.
Okay, so I'm saying literally. I'm not saying I'm a big Jet fan like you or as big a Jet fan. I'm saying there's nothing you could do about it, Bada Booms. You got to rest on this one. I was literally rooting for the Jets before you were born.
So I was created from my father. He was created from his father. This is the third or fourth generation of this fandom. Technically, I was rooting for the Jets since 1967. Technically, if we're going to speak technically. I was born, and they noticed a little spot of blood on my arm when I came out as a baby, and they said, "Why is his blood green?" I said, I obviously couldn't say anything. I can't speak. But they got the implications here. This child's done for the rest of his life. He's cursed.
Right.
He's been bestowed with the touch.
What was your point? You're welcome for the jerseys. You've earned it. Now,
thank you.
You're going to say something about the Super Bowl?
Yes.
And it would have been nice if you showed the jerseys. I mean, at least do a little show.
I was actually going to try to wear the Curtis one, but as I lifted it up, I'm like, I don't want to. Like that's more of something my brother does. I don't want to.
Not only do you not want to maybe wear it.
Oh, fat! I gotta stretch it out.
No, dude. Those the player made jerseys, the team issued jerseys that are made for the player. I don't care if they're extra large. They're gonna be on you like you might not even be able to fit into it, and even if you were, it's gonna be sucked on you.
Is that what you're saying? Coat. That's what it was gonna be if I put it on. But yes, they're designed for pads because I noticed that was a real jersey, how it goes all the way down like my jerseys when I used to play.
I bet you couldn't even get into the Rob Moore jersey.
No, I could get into it. It wouldn't be a good sight. I could definitely get into
the Rob Moore jersey.
I could definitely get into it. You want me to do it right now?
Go ahead. Go see if you
can I'm not, because then I got to go upstairs. We're in the groove right now. You got to go. Okay. You're sick. So,
right.
as you like that tweet I said to you when you responded, I said, go get some NyQuil and go to sleep early morning.
Yes, I did. Yeah, when you were getting ripped apart for your crappy Super Bowl party cuisine. Gabagool and Stromboli. Yeah, I'll be knocking on your door.
Yeah, Up Your, bro. Thank you. Go check it out. Type in Up Your online. See what comes up. So, I will probably in my life never experience a Super Bowl. I will probably never watch my team go to a Super Bowl. Sal, we're gonna break kayfabe and mention that you're a Falcon fan. I know you don't like to.
It's not that I don't like to. I'm proud of my Falcon fandom. It's that it's irrelevant in a lot of ways when I'm talking about New York football teams. It has nothing to do with anything.
That's fair.
Plus, as the years have gone on, I am way less of I used to be locked in every game, Sunday ticket, watching the teams before Matt Ryan, before Michael Vick, before 1998. So I am a Falcons fan. Now that Matt Ryan's back with the organization, maybe I'll have a little more interest, but it's just not the same, especially after they lost the Super Bowl the way that they had that lead, 28-3, and especially after Ryan left, but now that he's back as the president. Anyway, go ahead, because I think
before 98, so you stopped caring before they went to the Super Bowl?
No. I'm saying I was locked in before. I stopped
during that time period.
Yeah. I was as locked in as you could possibly be. I was a Falcon fan since about 1992.
Okay.
So from 92 to, I don't know, within the last maybe 5 years, I started to fade a little bit whenever they lost the Super Bowl. That's not 5 years now. It's probably 10 years.
Stop.
But anyway.
Stop. You're selling the John. You're selling the bit. So I want you to tell me what it was like watching your team go to technically 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
What the mindset is.
Not technically. 2 Super Bowls. No, like, that's a real thing.
You know what's crazy? The Jets almost played the Falcons in the Super Bowl. They were a fumbling of the football on the 3rd yard line away.
I went to the Falcons in 1998 were 14-2. One of the losses was at MetLife against the Jets. They actually played
I'm
the Jets
familiar
and
with that.
Giants that year. And I went to both those games. Was it the first football? I think it was the first time I ever went to a football game. Sunday night, Falcons Giants. Dan Reeves returns to MetLife, or it wasn't MetLife. It was Giant Stadium.
I hate that.
And I remember it. They beat the Giants. They lost to the Jets. So the Jets beat them for one of their two losses on the year. The other one was to the Niners, if I'm not mistaken. Steve DeBerg was the starting quarterback for the Falcons, however
Wow.
old he was, because Chris Chandler was hurt. Anyway, the reason why I say that is that was a magical season in the regular season. I went to two games. It was great to see them in person, my team, the Falcons. And that team obviously went on to the Super Bowl. The Jets fell short, losing to the Broncos. A lot of Jet fans to this day still think had they played the Falcons, they would have in fact won the Super Bowl. From a Falcon fan perspective, I wish the Jets made it because I believe the Falcons would have won the Super Bowl. But that feeling, and I don't know if you know this story, but from a fan's perspective, and we don't get to experience this enough. I know Giant fans have been fortunate enough to be in the Super Bowl quite a bit, and the
We'll go
multiple
back
Super
to the
Bowl
Giants
wins.
after this. Don't sell it yet because I have another question about the Giants.
Okay. But from a fan's perspective, especially one that never gets to see a Super Bowl, never even really thought that was a possibility, I was still pretty young. And in my 1998, like I was only a fan of the team for 6 years. I was in college, just out of high school. That's like my prime fandom. Had an Eric Metcalf jersey, Jamal Anderson jersey. Like I was all into that team.
Can you do the Dirty Bird real quick? One time, dude. Come on.
Yeah. I used to love doing that move. I've done it on dance floors before. Like Gio and I, when we were living together in apartments, we'd go out to clubs and just get wasted. And we were in the middle of the dance floor, and I'd break out the Dirty
Did
Bird
you do
like
it for
an
Nia
idiot.
Long?
I would do it if she asked. I'd do anything for my Nia.
The clicky
Anyway,
chicken?
where was I here? Oh, so
Yes.
Super Bowl morning. I like the build up, the 2 weeks. I couldn't get enough of it. The entire football world talking about my little Atlanta Falcons. It was foreign to me, but it was the greatest feeling ever. Basking in the glow or the glory of your team being talked about for 2 weeks. There was no better feeling, especially when it's an unknown, no-name team like that. That morning, I wake up excited for the game. No party, just my immediate family. My best friend Vin came over to watch the game. But that morning, I wake up and there was news that Falcon safety, man of the year, great player, Eugene Robinson, was arrested for soliciting a prostitute. That's the news that morning of the Super Bowl. So that kind of set the day off in the wrong tone. Then they got buried early on in that game, and it was never really a game. But the feel and excitement, all those things that I talked about, like you from a Jet fan perspective, if they ever make it, knowing that they're there. The best part about the Super Bowl is winning the AFC Championship or NFC Championship, and then knowing that you have 2 weeks of focus on your team that you're going to be on playing on the biggest stage in the world in the Super Bowl. That to me was the greatest feeling as a fan. Yeah, you're not going to
You're
probably
right.
have it, but
I'm probably never going to get that. You're getting the juices flowing. So you hit 98. Let's talk about 15 because me and you were both adamantly involved in that game. Obviously, I root against the Patriots like
yeah.
sometimes more than I root for the Jets because of how much I hate them. Can you take me through that? I'm not saying this to clown. I
Not
genuinely want to know.
only not only will I take you through it for a little bit here. Again, fans' perspective on a Super Bowl. This is how into it I was. I
Please.
flew down to Atlanta back-to-back weeks. First one, divisional round, to see them beat the Seahawks. Went back for the NFC Championship game.
With the Eagles or the Packers?
No, Packers.
Yes,
Aaron
don't
Rodgers, Matt Ryan, final game in the history of the Georgia Dome, NFC Championship game. Nervous as anything. Imagine me flying down by myself. The week before, I took my wife. We went to Atlanta, had a nice, couple of days, whatever. Saw them beat the Seahawks. Face painted, everything. I should really send you the pics so you can put them up here. But it was great. The following week, by myself, NFC Championship game, nervous as anything. And it was the second time I've been to an NFC Championship game because I flew down a few years before when they played the Niners with my mother. I went down, me and Mom's NFC Championship game. They had a 17-0 lead over the Colin Kaepernick-led 49ers. Blew the freaking game. Niners go on to the Super Bowl, lose to Joe Flacco and the Ravens and Harbaugh. That was my first experience with that. So, divisional round, next week, fly back down again. Packers, wasn't even a game. They smoked them. Probably the greatest game I've ever been to. Not as intense, but just a celebratory, oh my God, They've done it again. The Falcons are going back to the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan, MVP season, beating Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, which I was a little nervous about. Final game of the Georgia Dome was great. I considered going to the game in Houston, the Super Bowl, for whatever reason, logistically, cost. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay home and watch it. I was worried about, do I take my wife? Do I take my father? Then you talk about an extra few grand on top of it. I just decided stay home. Thankful I did, because they ended up having the worst loss in the history of the sport. At halftime, my wife asked me, how you feeling? I turned to her and said, like a Super Bowl champion. And I thought they were going to win the game. They were dominating. I was getting texts. I went to check my phone at halftime. Text, Ray Martell, Patriots fan, congrats, this and that. Congrats. And then I sat there and watched what happened in the second half. I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe. Okay, just get a stop. Oh my God, just make a play. Just convert. Julio makes that catch. They're about to kick the field goal. I think they're going to win.
One of the great forgotten catches of all time, by the way.
That should have sealed the deal. Patriots, even when the Patriots scored the touchdown right before they scored the 2-point conversion, I'm like, all right, just stop them from the 2-point conversion. All you have to do is stop them here and you win the game. It was just a snowball, an avalanche you could not stop. I sat up all night long watching the post game over, and I couldn't fucking believe that just happened. Why me as a fan? I felt like I am tortured. The Falcons, why do you have to hang the worst loss in the history of sport? Poor Matt Ryan. They should have won. This was it. So from that moment on, this is not like to be corny or whatever. I'm telling you the truth. A part of my fandom died with that. There's no way around it. I was older. I had other stuff going on in life. Stuff happened after that. My father got sick. Like my fandom, a part of it died that night with that horrific loss, and then just the way that life took me after that. So there you go.
That's honestly my biggest nightmare, Sal. Like, you talk about people with real life problems and stuff. My biggest nightmare is that the Jets get to the Super Bowl. They're dominating in the first half, and I'm sitting there thinking like, oh my God, like this is happening. Like, I've waited my whole. If you're waiting for this moment, Sal, here it is. And to have to watch that, like, you talk about
Guess what? You'll never have to worry about that. So
no, exactly, you're right about that, and it's funny, haha, jokes, but you're dead serious. I want to justify you on the whole thing about the fandom dying. There was a part of me that my whole life was that hope springs eternal, hopelessly optimistic Jet fan. And September 11th, 2023, that part of my Jet fandom died forever. Like that, because I was in MetLife, I was in the stadium when that happened. I wasn't even watching.
So pumped up for Rodgers.
Dude, that stop they had on third down, DJ Reed batted the ball. That might have been the loudest I've ever.
Who'd you go with? Who you had the game with?
It was me, my brother, and my younger brother, and then my older brother, not blood related, John, and then one of his good friends, Mikey, who's a Bill fan. So he was outnumbered.
A bunch of you all fired up for the game, getting ready to go. Rodgers,
dude, when they got Rodgers, I was doing one of these. Like, we were in the car watching Pat McAfee, and I was just
putting the paint on your face. What?
No, just a tear running down my eye. Like, this is beautiful. Like, this Hall of Fame quarterback. Wink, wink. That's never happened before. Well, from the Packers wants to come to play for me. He wants me. He wants the ugly fat girl to go to the dance with him.
I can't wait. I can't wait to go to a Jet game with you this year. We got to go to a Jet game.
He wants me. He wants me. And you know what happens when he shows up at the dance and walks through the double doors? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut that.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll say it again. He walks down. He walks in. The ballroom lights up, and he falls face first. His head hits the concrete, and he splats and explodes. Like, I hate to have to relive this moment, but it's like in my mind forever. It'll never.
So where are you at with the championship games? Because I've always said this, and I just said this before. To me, the greatest day is the championship Sunday, where you're like, okay, the right to play for the Super Bowl. Still at the atmosphere, home or on the road, whatever. You had that back-to-back years. You were very young at the point. Do you remember those? You remember hearing? What was your experience with the championship games when the Jets were in back-to-back years?
I remember the second set more than the first one. Now, I have
gone
back
7
and watched those 10. Well, it was the 2009 season going into 2010, so I would have been 6 still.
Okay, right.
Because the year before even.
God, those were great runs, man. It sucks that you missed those kind of.
No, I didn't miss them. I live vicariously. I've watched them all through. I've watched the DVDs, if you will. So I it's a part of me. I just wasn't old enough to really painfully experience it. That first run, I don't fully remember. I do remember, being up at halftime in the Colts, and I remember my dad, and he used to have a huge Jet like, group of his boys that were Jet fans. He's a season ticket holder, and they were at my house for it, and I just remember kind of the excitement and the mood, and I didn't really understand it. The following year, I do remember pieces of the Patriot game. I remember, like, the day of. I always do say my, like, forthcoming, my consciousness, my awakening is the fourth quarter of the Steeler game. I think that's really the first time that football kind of turned on in my brain. Because baseball, I've always said is my first love, and like '09, I do remember pieces of, just didn't emotionally affect me. But in that fourth quarter, I kind of just like looked up for the first time, and I was watching what was going on rather than just being in the room. And as that's going on, and I'm kind of feeling the energy, I remember crying at the end of that game in my room, not really fully aware or being emotionally invested.
Mm.
One of my dad's boys comes in, he passed me on the shoulder, and he says, "Sal, don't worry, kid, we will be back."
Yeah, yeah, but he didn't specify when. I will say that first of all, you don't know as if, like we joke around, it's never going to happen. You don't know. It can happen at any point. I will say though, I would rather have not experienced the Falcons getting to the Super Bowl than experience the loss. Like there's always a would you rather have your team in it and experience that? The run up to it was great, but no, the answer is I'd rather them not make it than lose like that. You would rather the Jets not get there, especially the Jets. Like the Falcons are one thing, they're such an irrelevant organization, but the Jets are known as the losers in the league. Imagine they finally get to the Super Bowl and have a loss like that. Maybe I should actually root for that because then it could get the Falcons off the hook a little bit. I don't want the worst loss in the history of the sport hung on me as a fan. What did I do to deserve that? What do you worried about crying and all this stuff with the Jets and the Rodgers stuff? Well, what did I do to deserve that? The lowly Falcons?
What age did you become a Falcons fan? You said you were 16 when you became a Falcons fan?
No, I didn't say an age. I said like 92. So I was born in 79. So do the math.
That was like 40 years ago, bro. I don't care.
Yeah.
All that matters is I'm a bigger Jet fan than you ever were a Falcon fan. So happy
Yeah,
that's out of
that's
the
not
way
true.
now.
That's not
No,
true.
no, Sal, it is. It is though. It is.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, I'll put my fandom, my prime fandom, up against anybody's at any time. My Met fandom up against Big Bad Evan Roberts, your boy, your king, your hero. My Met fandom better than his. My Falcon fandom better than yours.
No, it's not. You're not a fan anymore.
No, doesn't matter. Well, when you grow up one day, maybe you'll be less of a fan too. You got 20 years to
That'll
go.
never change, bro.
Yeah,
That'll never.
okay.
I'm gonna have children
thing.
for the purpose of instilling it in their mind and forcing.
Yeah, it'll never change, bro. One of my good friends, Saratoga Wills, once was telling me, was getting engaged or whatever, and he's like, and I'm like, this is the greatest relationship ever, and he's like, things change when you get married. No, it's never gonna change, man. She's great. I'm great. This is great. Never gonna change. Come on. And I took offense to that. Like you're saying, like I'm telling you it's gonna change. You're like, no, it's not. Well, Saratoga Willis was right. It does change. And it's not that it's bad, but it wasn't like it was pre-marriage. All right, let's just wrap it up here, Bada Booms. Couple of things before we say goodbye officially. Knicks Pistons tonight, huge game. Knicks obviously get Alvarado at the trade deadline. The one thing that I like about that, you could remove yourself for a second. I'll bring you back in. One thing I like about Alvarado is that I think he replaces what the Knicks lost in DiVincenzo with that toughness, that energy, that passion. It's not that the Knicks don't have that. It's that they don't have enough of it. They miss that with DiVincenzo with moving on from him. You get a guy who can handle the ball, backup point guard. They need him because Deuce McBride is banged up. So they definitely need Alvarado. But more importantly than a guy that can handle the ball and be a backup point guard, his toughness, he's from the area. I think the Garden crowd's going to fall in love with him. A guy that can raise the level of passion, toughness, energy. Those are things that you need in the postseason. So that's why I like the addition of Alvarado. And I'm fine that the Knicks didn't get Giannis. Maybe it'll happen in the offseason. Maybe not. I don't think the Knicks are going to win the championship, but they are a team that can contend for a championship. And on this Friday night, they'll be taking on another team that can contend for a championship, certainly in the Eastern Conference, taking on the Pistons. So looking forward to that on the road. Big game, Knicks at Detroit. Even if the Knicks aren't healthy, still a little bit of a measuring stick the way the Knicks have been playing so well. And we don't do much college hoops, but there is a game I will check out tonight. Shout out to BT. Loves his Johnnies. St. John's, UConn. That's a game that I would have circled on my calendar, even from a fringe college basketball fan. I have not watched college basketball much this year at all. This is a game that I think you get into with St. John's and UConn. So maybe we could talk, depending on how that game goes, talk about it the next time we record a podcast. But a pretty big weekend. You got Knicks, Detroit, UConn, St. John's, the Olympics, if you're into that. I know Bada Boom's a big luge guy. Are you into the Olympics at all, Bada Booms, or no? We could do Olympic stuff next week, maybe.
What
Are
was
you into
that
it?
joke? What was that joke? I missed
I
it.
have no idea. I don't know.
Oh, I
I
said
don't
you were
know.
an Olympic hog rider the other day. Didn't you win the gold
Yeah.
medal? I thought you
For
won the
what?
gold medal for it
For
for the sport of hog riding.
Yeah, okay. All right. So anyway, so Knicks, Pistons,
Mhm.
St. John's, UConn, Olympics. Where are you at tonight?
Probably the Knicks, bro. Like it's time to start tapping in. If we're talking
Yeah, I
about
know.
championships, it's time to really start tapping
No
in
St.
these off
John's at all for you? St. John's, UConn?
Um, what is that? What are they doing there?
Okay. And no Olympics for you.
Maybe Italy. I'll root them on. Did you see Vinny
Okay.
Pasquantino reaching out to me? Speaking of
No.
Italy, I put up a picture of the Pasquantino jersey and said him
Yeah.
do numbers with this at MetLife, and within seconds he quote tweeted it and said need it.
Is he a Jet fan?
Diehard Jet fan, and
Yeah, that's what I
he
thought.
could be
Okay.
my cousin, Vinny Pasquantino.
Why don't you book him on the show? Start being a producer. I'll get Nia Long. You get Pasquantino. You didn't
Yes,
think that?
if you're getting Neil Long, then let's go. I'll
You
do
didn't
it.
think that?
I'll
You
get
didn't
the
think that? Oh,
Pasquatch.
he responds to me. Great. Would you like it? Get him on the show.
No, you're
You have
right
a
about
pick?
that.
You have a pick in the Super Bowl or no?
Yeah, and I'm gonna run you down. All you've done, Sal, since we started this show, since the NFL playoff start, was doubt the Gekubis. All you did was doubt him and say he's not good enough. He's not made for the moment. Mike McDonald's a joke. Well, I'm gonna tell you this, Sal. In a big moment this Sunday, I want the Gekubis. I want Darnold.
What does that mean, Gekubis? I don't even know what that is.
Greatest ever quarterback, United States. The Gekubis.
What is wrong with you? Where do you come up with this shit?
No, I didn't come up with that, Sal. Yeah, the fact that you're unaware of the Gekubis lore just shows you like maybe
Okay.
there's a reason.
Okay. Anyway, so Sam, I'm sorry to interrupt your pick. Go ahead, finish.
Sam Darnold, 321 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Kenneth Walker, 97 yards on the ground. I'm like Berman now.
Okay.
Yeah. Seahawks, 28. New England Patriots, 17.
That's it. Would you like to put something on the line here?
We can call it a friendly competition.
Loser, I'll take the Patriots. Do I get the points as well in this?
No, it's a friendly competition, so.
So I can't. I don't get the point. I mean, they're 5-point underdogs here.
Now, if one of those big places comes knocking on the door, hey, Bada Booms and Sal, we have an opportunity for you.
I get it. Listen, loser, friendly competition, not a bet, friendly competition.
Mm.
I get the Patriots, and I think we should do it with the point spread, but you could ultimately decide that. You get the Seahawks.
Mhm.
Loser has to wear a Chelsea green hat for an entire show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're talking about the... Yeah. I'm fine with that. But I have so much faith in
Unless
the
you
one
got
and
something
only.
better. I mean, I like Chelsea green. I don't want to be wearing that hat the whole show. Unless you got something better you want to come up with.
I feel like the hat and the tutu might be... she got the thing on. She got
Yeah, but you can't see the tutu anyway when we're doing the show.
That's true.
All right, we'll
That's
figure
a good
that
point.
out.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out. But on record, are we doing the points or no?
No, outright.
I mean,
Dude, you're gonna bet on the Patriots.
I understand that, but the line is what the line is. So if the Seahawks win by 3, I should really
Excuse me,
win.
because obviously I'm not in on the action there. What is the line? Let me ask you. I'm not gonna look it up.
4.5, 5 points. Let me check. I'll check up to the minute. It
And
was
what did
4.5
I just say?
going.
I said Seahawks 28, Patriots 17.
Yeah. So you think?
No,
they're gonna
I
cover?
don't want to be rooting for the spread. It's money line.
All right, fair enough. Money line. I'll take the dog. I believe the Patriots are going to win. All right, that does it for this episode of the Sal Licata Show podcast. Appreciate you guys. If you watched, if you downloaded, whatever. If you like the show and you like the content, feel free to, you don't have to smash it. Just like touch the like button. Download, rate, subscribe. Get it wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube.
The hype button, Sal.
The hype button. Oh, yeah, Bada Boom's about the hype button. All about that stuff. Whatever that means. Hype it up. All right, we'll see you later. Enjoy the weekend.